Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news as well as a preview of their upcoming game matchups. So, this week, the Texans are going to be hosting the Cleveland Browns in a game that they're still going to need to win to stay alive in this playoff race. But I'll get into all that, including like the expectations that were had for this game. So what I want to do is just go ahead, get off my little quick game recap from last Sunday's win over the Tennessee Titans. So Texans pulled it off with another heart attack type game, down 13-3 and going into the second half, overcame that 10-point deficit to win the game 19-16 in the overtime. So, I mean, one big takeaway that I have from this game is it's just a resilient win. Just completely, that's what it is, resiliency. You know what I'm saying? They were down, they came back, but not even that. They were already kind of like down going into this game with all the injuries that was going on both sides of the ball, especially with C.J. Stroud being out, Nico Collins being out. You know what I'm saying? So Tank Dell, he was already out as well. So you know what I'm saying? We were down a lot of offensive weapons coming in here, and we had to, obviously we had to roll with a backup quarterback that you know what I'm saying hasn't really had too much playing time in recent years with Case Keenum. So um, it was definitely a challenge using the pieces that we had to play this team. And even though the Titans are, they were trending towards being out of the playoffs, it was still a rivalry game. And so, just how it is in any rivalry game, um, it doesn't matter the record. Wipe the records away. You know what I'm saying? Teams are going to get up for you. And in this particular game, you had the storyline with the Love Your Blue jerseys coming in here. So, Tennessee, they was ready to come up. They was ready to come out and like really just play hard. You know what I'm saying? They was ready to really just show out and try to do as much damage to us as they could. But they did not succeed in doing that. And, one credit I'll give is, to our defense. They really held it down in this game. 7 sacks by this defense, had two and a half of them from Jonathan Bernard, had a sack from Desmond King. Welcome back to the Texans, Desmond King. You know what I'm saying? They just really got after the quarterback, the rookie quarterback, and just, you know what I'm saying, really made them have a long day that day. Um, Another thing that I overlooked before recording this was Devin Singletary. He put up 100 yards in this game. So the running game was, you know what I'm saying, it didn't look really didn't really look effective early on, but once we got some rhythm going late as the game went on, you know what I'm saying, it really started to pick up steam. And so, you know what I'm saying, big ups to Devin Singletary for holding him down on that front. So one last thing actually, uh, I saw that this was eh, kind of a debate going into the game, and I'll speak on it a little bit more um, after this. But Keenum being the right choice to start in this game. So all throughout the video in last week's video, um, I was really focused on it being Davis Mills going into this game, and I don't think they really announced the starter. In fact, they did not announce the starter at the time I was recording, and even the day after I was recording, they didn't really announce it. And so, but for them to go with Keenum, they made the choice to do it because they said that he has the big game experience, and you know what I'm saying, he really does. He's been in way bigger games than this one. You know, excuse me, the Minnesota Miracle, Twin City Miracle, whatever you call it, when he connected with Stephon Diggs for that last second touchdown. That was him. Yeah. The Minneapolis Miracle, whatever. He was on that play. And that led them to the conference championship that season. So him going on the road to Tennessee that's trying to show off their old school throwbacks, there probably wasn't nothing for him. The only thing that he was pretty much worried about was getting the rust off of him, in which he did. So, but overall, great win by the Texans. Great comeback win. way to push through all of that. So going into the reason, excuse me, going into the reason that a lot of that a lot of people were kind of worried about this game. Um, C.J. Stroud, he's still in concussion protocol. Been in concussion protocols since the New York Jets game about a couple of weeks ago, and so I haven't seen no real estimated time for his return. Um, it's and with concussion protocols, I guess it depends on how serious it really is. Some of them might take a little bit longer than others. Um, I've seen I've seen it happen where concussion protocols take like just a week. You know what I'm saying? I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Tank Dell was in it for maybe like a good week and a half, and he might have only missed one game because I think it was around the bye week when he had first entered protocol. Um, so Stroud is expected to miss his second straight game this week, and so kind of seen fans, maybe just one or two fans, bring up Keenum start again, and my opinion, he has the hot hand right now. You know, um, you know what I'm saying. He kicked the rust off last week, and so you seen what he did with that. It wasn't pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't pretty by starting quarterback standards, but he's essentially like a backup quarterback that's came in to start a game. So he gave you what he was actually going to give you. You know what I'm saying? So I think he did pretty well uh, for what he did as far as like the end was what the end result was. Um, so yeah, obviously he's going to start again if Stroud is unable to go this weekend. So yeah, he has the hot hand. He has the rust off him. As far as like Davis Mills goes, I I seen they put him in on the Hail Mary attempt. So I don't think that'll. It'll be interesting to see if they bring him back in for that or any situational things like that. But for the most part, I expect Case Keenum to get the start once again. So with that being said, time for Cleveland Browns. And as I mentioned earlier, excuse me, allergy still. um, as I mentioned earlier, this game looks a lot different than what it was before the season. So before the season, I looked at this game. I looked at this whole little 3 game stretch. Actually, you know what I'm saying? This game between both the Titans games. So yeah, I was like, it's going to be Tennessee on the road. Then it's Cleveland and Tennessee again. So this was even with the jersey announcement that Tennessee had made. I was like, oh, that's going to be crazy that they chose that game against us to wear those jerseys. So I know, what I'm saying, we're going to be hyped for this one. And then the next week we got the Cleveland Browns because you know who is coming into town with the Browns, Deshaun Watson. So that was how I felt at the time. I was like, it's going to be a crazy, 2-3 game stretch. And then of course we got the Titans after the Browns again at home. So it was gonna be a crazy 3 game stretch. Still a crazy 3 game stretch as far as playoffs go. However, with this particular matchup, uh, kind of a little bit underwhelming, considering that Watson will not be playing. He's out for the year due to a shoulder injury. Obviously, we won't be able to show off our rookie MVP candidate, C.J. Stroud, because he's likely going to be out with it. Out with for due to an injury as well. So it's going to be Case Keenum against Joe Flacco, the Cleveland Browns' new backup quarterback. And so with the Browns, Flacco's been this is going to be his actually this is going to be his 4th start. He started 3 straight games. He started 3 games for him so far, and he's 2-1 in those games. Um, so they signed Flacco earlier in the season when Watson went down. And the thing about the Browns is they're kind of used to having a backup quarterback. not just this year, but going back to last season. That's when, Watson got over there. But he was suspended for, however many games or whatever. And so they were, they were going behind Jacoby Brissett for most of the year. But this season, Watson, he's obviously not suspended, but he's been hurt. And so he's been in and out of the lineup quite a few times. So they've dealt with different quarterbacks. They've dealt with PJ. They've used PJ Walker. They used Dorian Thompson Robinson, and now Joe Flacco is just the latest. Uh, latest Browns quarterback to start for the Cleveland Browns. Stop me when you heard that before. So anyway, so yeah, um, Browns are coming into town, and they're very much in the playoff race as well, trying to get ahead. And despite their quarterback situation, they have a very solid defense, especially against the pass. So here's a couple things that the Texans need to do to kind of win this game. Number one, they have to neutralize Myles Garrett. They have to find a way to take him out of this game and make sure he's not the disruptor that he is. Myles Garrett is I don't to me personally, I don't think people talk about him enough. I think they mention him, you know what I'm saying? They give him his credit, but I don't think they hype him up as much as he should be hyped up. I think he's on the level with a Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, Aaron Donald, guys you hear about like round the clock as far as like, you know what I'm saying, defensive players, defensive disruptors. He's definitely one of those guys. And so um, he has to be neutralized in this game. He is certainly a game rupture. One way we can do that is, of course, double teams, but also move Keenum around in the pocket. Case Keenum, he has a penchant for being a little bit mobile. So we can move him around in the pocket, get him to scramble a little bit. He'll be able to find the throws down the field, but at the same time, if he doesn't find anything, I think he can find a few yards or so to kind of keep the drive going. You know what I'm saying? Gain some positive yardage off of some scrambles. So just move him around the pocket or move the pocket around for him. Um, Quick passes and screens, definitely. Um, just make sure the ball is like out of Kingdom's hand as quick as possible. Because you don't want because Myles Garrett will get home if you. And the way our O line has been also kind of hit with the injury bug a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be real interesting to see. Like they're going to test to see how healthy our O line is. So definitely make sure there's plays drawn up just to get the ball out quickly to the receivers that we do have, to the running backs and skill players that we do have. Uh, Joe Flacco cannot get hot in this game at all. So, like I said, he's 2-1. He lost his first start, but he's won two straight uh, games for him, and the totals have climbed up in each of these games. The passing yards have climbed up for him. He's getting better. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting more comfortable in this offense, and around playoff time, that's a real dangerous thing when you know what I'm saying. You got a team that got some rhythm going. They're picking up steam. That's a whole different conversation. But right now, he's just getting a feel for this offense, and so he can't get hot. You know what I'm saying? He cannot start steaming. You have to kind of disrupt him, shake him up a little bit. Now, for what it's worth, last game he threw for 374 yards, his highest of his Browns tenure so far. But at what cost? He was sacked 4 times and he threw 3 interceptions in his last game. So that's where you know what I'm saying we come in. We have to bring that pressure. You know what I'm saying? We had last week Texas defense had 7 sacks. Jonathan Gennard, you know what I'm saying, he's been balling, for real, for real. And so we have to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, we can actually get to the quarterback. And it's not just Grenard, you know what I'm saying, there's some Malik Collins over there as well. Sheldon Rankins, he's had a good game. He's had a good game or two this season. It's a I you know what I'm saying, our pass rush can come from a variety of different places. You know what I'm saying? Even with Will Anderson who may or may not be in the lineup. Um, but uh, definitely we have to generate pass rush and get to the quarterback. Just find different ways to do it. And if we don't get to them, we have to force turnovers. Um, Derek Stingley had a streak, 3 straight games with an interception coming back. So um, we have to keep this going. Get, get picks, generate those picks, fumbles, all that stuff. Force turnovers, you know what I'm saying? Because they barely won that game last week with him throwing 3 interceptions. So this week, we can have to, really capitalize on those if we get them. So that's really all I got for y'all this week. Um, Neutralize Myles Garrett. Make sure he doesn't become a game disruptor, and also make sure Joe Flacco doesn't continue his hot streak right now. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for y'all. I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. If you're watching this on YouTube, like this video, click the subscribe button to my page. If you're watching this on Facebook, like my page, facebook.com/BrandonBlog. I got more content like this coming your way. So, with that being said, I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.